Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all having a great day. Today I'm going to be reacting to another video by Jaiden Animations called My Childhood Obsession with Animals. I can kind of relate to this because I had a few pets growing up and I still like wildlife today, but I was never really obsessed with having a pet. I was never at a point like,
I need this pet or my life shall be unfulfilling.
it was never that bad. We'll see what's going on with Jaiden though, and how she was obsessed with animals as a kid. So I'll include the link to Jaiden's original video in the description below. Please like and subscribe. Without further ado, let's get watching this.
I've always been an animal lover. Ever since I saw a picture of a dog, I've been like, I want that. I still love and respect animals, but as a kid, it was pretty intense, not gonna lie. Can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? My parents had to sit through years of that.
Jaiden's a little chaos gremlin, and I love it. I gotta see that exchange again.
Can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? Can we get a dog? My parents had to sit through.
I swear, she's giving me vibes of Dash from The Incredibles. If you guys remember that one scene. Roll clip!
Hey, what's that? Where'd you get that, Mom? You made a cool outfit? Hey, are those giraffes? Cool outfit?
Jaiden, you are a trip.
Years of that until my dad finally couldn't handle it anymore and got me one for my 7th birthday against my mom's will. Before that, they tried everything to make.
Man, you just yeeted the puppy in your daughter's face. Imagine if you were actually that frustrated that you went to that extreme. Obviously it's a joke, but imagine, it's like,
Take your freaking dog. Just poof.
Ow. Thanks, Dad.
I've lost my mind.
Stop, besides getting me a dog. And by everything, I mean a bunch of fish. Maybe if we shape these fish into a dog, she won't notice. They'd come home with 2 fish from the pet store that would last for about a week, die, and then get replaced. Repeat until dog appears. How many fish must die before I get what I want? Since we got fish from the pet store and not an actual breeder.
I've just never had fish as pets growing up because
To me, fish are like one of the most useless pets you can have. I mean, no offense to anyone who actually has fish, but think about it. You can't really play with the fish. You can't take your fish for a walk.
they are permanently locked into their aquatic habitat, and the only time you can really interact with them is if you feed them or change the water for their aquarium. So yeah, really low companionship to dollar ratio for that one.
That was probably a big contributing factor on why they died so quickly. But as a 5-year-old, I also just forgot to feed them a lot, so there's gotta be some fish blood on my hands for that.
Yeah,
we went through
probably
probably 20 fish in the span of a couple months, but eventually we got these 2 goldfish that didn't die. A true miracle. They were pretty resilient little dudes. One was Goldie, and the other was probably named Fishy.
Really?
Probably some of the most creatively flawless names I've ever known. But after a while, Goldie turned white.
Yeah, Jaiden, like,
How many brain cells do you have to put together to come up with those names? I know you were a kid, but you couldn't have tried to come up with something a little bit more creative than that?
So I renamed it Rainbow because I thought it was cool he could change colors. I learned
Okay.
13 years later from my marine biology teacher that Goldie/Rainbow was probably diseased, which makes the color change less
Really?
exciting. We eventually gave them away to my mom's friend and they died. But that's all besides the point. My parents got me an army of fish and a dog I named Scruffy, but that was it. I wasn't
Scruffy.
able to crack them any further than that. And believe me,
can we agree that Scruffy is probably one of the best names for a little shaggy dog to ever exist? I mean, it's classic. You really can't improve upon Scruffy very much. If you guys can think of a better name for a shaggy dog than Scruffy, let me know in the comments.
I tried. My parents had to become stone-faced, emotionless soldiers to keep my non-stop beseeching for more creatures at bay.
Jaidenzilla.
After they got me a dog, I was pretty satisfied for about 1.5 years until I decided I wanted a mouse. Something about their cute little faces and how they crawl with their cute little feet and their freaking ears made me obsess over having one, and my parents got to hear all about it. I asked my parents for a mouse for years, promising how I'd take care of it and blah blah blah, the whole thing. My mom pretty much hates rodents because she thinks their tails are weird, so there was no budging on that one. She tried to get me to stop by saying, Alright, you can get a mouse. But we'd have to get rid of Scruffy.
Oh,
which
no.
is obviously a bad bang for your buck. No, what? No way, nuh-uh. I'd never get rid of Scruffy. He's my pal for life. But not gonna lie.
Good for you, Jaiden, good for you. That's critical thinking at work, and I think that's kind of hard for a kid. Because lots of kids, especially this day and age, with like iPads and like streaming service, everything's like instant gratification. So I appreciate that she has some critical thinking skills and realize, it's not a smart investment to get a mouse if I have to give up my dog. So I'm glad that she's putting her brain to work.
After hearing that response over 10 times, I started kinda considering it.
Don't do it.
I wasn't ever actually gonna do it. I was just getting desperate, alright? When I was 10, I wrote on my Christmas wish list that I wanted a mouse because I thought for some reason I'd foiled their plans and found a loophole. Ha! You can't override the power of the holy Christmas spirit. Christmas morning rolled around and I ran into the living room where all the presents were to not only find no mouse, but a computer mouse.
Oh,
Nice salt in the wound there, Mom.
That was a good one. You gotta appreciate parents who have a sense of humor. Yeah, oh yeah, we'll get you a mouse. But you need a computer to use it.
Well played, Jaiden's mom. Well played.
Got my hopes up way too high. My
Yeah.
disappointment was immeasurable, and my Christmas was ruined. I did get a computer though, so that was cool. After my parents endured
Good.
5 years of me asking for a mouse, I read this book series called Maximum Ride, which was about these teenagers who had bird wings and were on the run to not get captured by the scientists who wanted to keep experimenting on them. It was
Cool.
my favorite book series as a kid, and it made me really like birds,
Awesome.
which resulted in the next animal obsession. I swear to God, if I hear one more mention of a mouse again, I'm gonna— Mom, can we get a yellow-naped Amazon parrot? Yes, I started loving birds back when I was in 6th grade. Everyone say a big thanks to James Patterson for creating this bird-obsessed monster.
Yeah, that's a good call. I've actually read a few of James Patterson's novels. They're like sci-fi mystery thriller, I guess would be like the best way to describe them. They're really interesting and they're really good. Obviously, this video is not sponsored by James Patterson, but if you haven't read any of his novels, you totally should. They're worth the money and they're worth your time.
At the time, I wanted one of the big boy birds, a yellow-naped Amazon parrot to be exact. I would
Okay.
spend hours just watching all the YouTube videos I could find of them and sending them to my parents like, look how great they are. You totally want one now, don't you, after watching one play in a box and sing Old MacDonald? This was a whole new type of fixation. I mapped out on the ground where the cage could go with tape, Googled where Amazon parrot breeders were near me. I made multiple PowerPoint presentations for my parents on why they should let me get a parrot. It was intense, and
Wow.
the pressure was on. My mom—
Man, you gotta admire young Jaiden for having this type of effort and commitment for like just trying to get a bird when she was like still just a kid. I don't think I would have been able to do it. I did not have this type of drive as a child.
was even like, so how about that mouse? But no, Mom, that ship has sailed.
Nope,
Now I want a
backpedaling won't work.
15-inch parrot that lives for 80 years.
Can
They
live
started
for
telling
80
me,
years?
you can get a bird when you move out. And from then on, it was my goal to get out of my parents' house as soon as I could. Obviously, I
Man, I could not have the type of dedication needed to take care of a pet that could potentially outlive me.
I could not do it. I mean, because let's be honest, no human is guaranteed to live 80 plus years. So to get a pet that could potentially outlive you, that is either there's a lot of dedication or potentially foolish.
never got a yellow-naped Amazon parrot, but I never really got out of my bird phase because I've got this thickums right
Hello,
here. I was
Ari.
pretty self-aware that asking for a parrot was a long shot, so even though I still wanted a bird, I dialed back my animal requests, and when I was 14,
Wait, hang
I
on.
started—
So dense. Hold on, let's go back. Yeah, well, like, yeah, those are the characters from the what's it called? Homestar Runner. That I don't know if you call it a webtoon, that website that was common like in the early 2000s. It's probably still up. I don't know if it's still up and running or not. But look, you got the cheat, you got like Strong Bad, you got Homestar. This is great. I love these references.
I was pretty self-aware that asking for a parrot was a long shot, so even though I still wanted a bird, I dialed back my animal requests, and when I was 14, I started really liking flying squirrels. They were my favorite animal for a while, and that's when I realized people can have
Oh
them
no,
as
you broke
pets.
your arm.
Sugar gliders. Mom, can we? Sugar glider, add that one to the list. I don't think I actually bothered my parents too much about getting flying squirrels as much as the mouse and parrot, but I know they knew I wanted one. And I knew they were gonna say no. So I guess I just kept that one a bit more internal. During the summer,
Okay.
we would visit my family in Canada, and my cousin Peyton was really obsessed with ferrets at the time. So we would
Okay,
spend
ferrets.
literally entire days on the computers together, researching ferrets and flying squirrels, and Amazon parrots because they were still my number one obsession, let's not forget. We wrote down general facts we learned in Word documents, planned out how to care for them, added up how much money they cost, including cages, food, bedding, etc., etc. We were the same amount of obsessed. It was a lot of fun, actually. We bonded a lot during those times, and she's still one
That's
of my
good.
best friends. She also never got a ferret, so sad times there. Peyton
Aw,
also
that
got a rat
sucks.
named Lola, and that made me really want a rat. Which, of course, meant Mom! Lola was so sweet and smart, and I always wanted to play with her. But that's also true with almost anyone's pets. If I come
Oh,
over to your
jeez.
house and you have
Can we go back real quick? Oh man, like it's really messed up in a weird way that some people actually do have tigers as pets. As cool as tigers are, they should not be pets. Tigers deserve to be either in the wild or a wildlife reserve or something. Because you know how freaking dangerous tigers are? They could bite through your freaking skull. And little known fact for you, there are actually more pet tigers in Texas than there are wild tigers on the entire planet. So that's kind of messed up. Anyone watching this?
Please don't get a tiger as a pet. I am begging you.
If I come over to your house and you have any type of pet, I will be personally offended if you don't let me
Sonic.
play with it for at least 3 hours. So I did have a small point where I was
Raccoon?
asking if my parents would let me have a rat, and my mom was like, nope, and I'd be all, but what about the time you were gonna let me get a mouse because I was asking for a parrot? And she would say, nope, that ship has sailed. Touche, mother. During 10th grade, I was also starting to really like raccoons.
Yeah, you gotta respect parents who like make their kids happy, but they like know when to just like pull out good old parent logic. Like, nope, that ship has sailed. Because I think a lot of times, especially within recent decades, there's been a tendency for parents to spoil their kids or just not say no to them and try to be their friends. You're not supposed to be your child's friends. You're supposed to be your child's parents. I mean, you can have a good relationship with them, but your job isn't to bend over backwards and always make them happy. You're sure you gotta make your kids happy, but you also have to set boundaries and let them know, like, we can't do everything that you want. Sometimes life doesn't work like that. So, good call, Jaiden's mom.
I thought they were sneaky and cool, and I googled if people had them as pets as a random, not serious thought. But surprise, surprise, some people do have raccoon pets.
Are you serious?
Just kidding, they rip up couches and dig holes in walls, and
Exactly.
I'm not that devoted to raccoons.
Yeah, exactly. I was just thinking that. I'm thinking, who would willingly have a raccoon for a pet? That's just similar to the whole tiger thing. I mean, they're wild animals. Sure, they're not as dangerous as tigers, but still, they could do some damage. Their claws could mess you up and damage your property. Don't have raccoons for pets, okay? Just please don't.
But I still dreamed about having a raccoon buddy someday. Finally, I graduated from high school and moved
Oh,
into a
no.
dorm in college that
No
didn't
pets
allow
allowed?
pets, which was torture for me. I waited all
Understandable.
this time to move out, and I'm still not able to bring a horde of mice, rats, birds, sugar gliders, and maybe a raccoon into the rooms. But YouTube started kicking off shortly after, and I moved back in with my parents to pursue that. Flash forward a bit, and I was finally able to get Ari. After
Cool.
10 years of wanting a bird, I'd finally done it.
Awesome.
And what a gander he is. Was he worth the wait? No, he's a dumb bird. You're good. You're a good bird. I'm not currently looking to get any more animals right now, even though I really want them. I have Ari, and he's already enough of a handful, so I can't commit to anything else right now. I am gonna get a dog eventually, that's a promise. And I do really like reptiles, so I've done my fair share of research on skinks, but that's only a 30% chance to actually happen. I haven't
Alright.
really grown out of my animal phase. I've just become a mix of that and my parents, still hopelessly entranced by creatures, but also being the one who has to tell myself no because I have other stupid responsibilities. Hopefully when I
You know, that's good. Like, just to hear her say, like, she's become herself, like, a mix of herself and her parents. In a way, I think that might be one of the best goals if you are a parent. You know, to let your kids still be themselves, but to have your sense and maturity when it comes to things. Because she still loves animals, but she knows that, you know, you have to take care of your other responsibilities first. So I appreciate the fact that she's like, she can recognize that in herself. That's actually a pretty cool thing, I gotta say.
have kids, they won't be as animal obsessed as I am because I don't think I have the
Komodo
strength my
dragon?
parents had to be able to.
Can you imagine if someone actually had a freaking Komodo dragon for a pet? That is a terrible idea. That's worse than the raccoons. Newsflash, Komodo dragons are actually venomous.
Yeah, they can actually bite and then your wound will just bleed out, okay? That is dangerous. Please, no one have a Komodo dragon. Please?
Say no to any animals they ask for. Thank God my parents were responsible and
Well, guys, that was another entertaining and somewhat relatable video by Jane Animations. And anybody watching this, have you had a lot of pets growing up? And if so, what type of pets were your favorite? Let me know in the comments below. If you'd like me to react to any more Jane Animation videos or any recommendations for other channels, let me know in the comments as well. Anyway, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.